because when I started my work as a hospital chaplain at here in Temple at 11-1 Hospital, um, back in summer of 2022, I, of course, was walking into the hospital room or emergency room of people that were completely different than me. Now, I'm used to this because I was in the military, right? 12 years full time, lived in several countries overseas and all around the United States. So, being around people that are different than me in looks or beliefs, cultures, that's not that wasn't an issue. That's not a problem. But but it was, honestly, it was when I started working in hospice, which happened in the fall of 2022. I worked for hospice for 6 months, and as I would go into people's homes or their facilities of where they are, I was confronted with patients who, I live in Central Texas right now, so I'm brown. I'm confronted with patients who are white, and they've really only, I mean, they grew up in a different era. So they have thoughts and feelings that maybe they haven't ever talked about. And it seems to come up when I come into the room. And so when that happened to me several times, I don't bring up these topics, but they would come up. I realized why they would come up is because I am the one coming into the room. Me, with my face, my gender, my background, my hair. I come into the room, and so to them, I think it's just, they just find themselves talking about my parents were racist, or I've heard a lot of things. I'm not gonna go into it here because it's supposed to be a short video. But basically, hearing these things again and again, not all the time, but I can think of specifically two visits that really marked me. Um, I then realized, oh, this is touching on something in me. Like, why does this bother me that they're saying the things that they were saying? So before, I never really thought about it. Honestly, I just kind of didn't. I just fit in wherever, or I was really focused on trying to because we kept moving all the time. But now it's more like, what's up with that? And then all of the things that are happening in our nation, and me becoming more aware, more sensitive to what's happening to people groups. I don't I don't like the responses that I was feeling, and I started to look into that, do my own work. I started to begin to do my own work in this. It's not just other people that need. Every person has to deal with the effects of what our society has done to each of us, whether we were actively participating in actions or just a product of the environments that we're in. So, I was raised in Birmingham, Alabama. I grew up in Virginia, so these are all areas that have been racialized, and we continue to be racialized as a nation. And so I want to learn more about this for myself. And also, I think it'll improve my care that I provide to others because I talk to all sorts of people in my job as a hospital chaplain. Um, and finally, the reason why I'm getting involved is because I realize that people want to talk about these things, but they don't know how to talk about it, and they don't know who to talk about it with. And so I want to be better prepared to hear and dialogue about these concerns. And so I am better than I was when those experiences happen. I have noticed that it doesn't trigger me and bother me as much. Actually, I enjoy having these conversations, but I wanted to be a part of this online group because I'm hopeful that I'll be able to help facilitate these important discussions as well in the future with others in the future. So I'm excited to be joining along with a group that has been doing this for years now, and on such an important topic. I hope you'll consider. There's a preview session going on Monday, August 11th at two different times. All the details are in my blog. The contact of who I talked to, the facilitator of this group, is all her details are there. She gave me documents that I'm able to share with you. That's all there. I hope you'll really consider this, especially if you're a person who is wondering what's happening now in the world, and maybe you yourself are either becoming more aware of race and faith and how it affects our history and what's happening today, or maybe you're wondering why all the hubbub about all of this and you want to know more. It's Come to the preview, check it out, see if this is something for you. That's what I'd say.